feel like doing something or something seems really hard,
Mhm.
it goes back to getting your mind right. Everything does. And so it's kind of, I had to do that for myself this week. Is like, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to go. And then now I'm like trying to work around the storms because there's supposed to be more storms coming this afternoon when I wanted to go walk. So I was like, no, I'll go walk first while it's cooler,
Mhm.
and then I'll go to the gym this afternoon, which I can throw around some more weight anyway after I've eaten a couple meals. Um, but yeah, that's my win is, overcoming not wanting to go to the gym, not wanting to go to the park, not wanting to go get my steps. Um, and then knowing that the best athletes in the world, they have to get their mind right too.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, no, I
that's
love
that.
that. No, I love that. And a couple of things to point to that. Number one, yeah, so Stacy says, guys, you're not always going to want to do it. That's what I mean when I say motivation isn't always going to be there. And that's where that discipline comes in. And that's why we always lean on building that strong foundation, because it becomes easier to do the things you don't want to do when you have that strong foundation built in. And the visualization piece, like if you guys remember way back in the beginning of your journey, I talked to you about that. Like it is super important. You need to see yourself in the place that you want to be. Visualization, and yeah, some of the greatest athletes do that. They all do that. They have to do that in order to, they have to see themselves crossing the finish line, getting the touchdown, standing on stage, competing, whatever it might be. Like you have to visualize it because you can be your own worst enemy. So it's super important. Like it's the power of the mind. And really keeping in mind what it is you want to do. So when your triggers, things like that are not always gonna like not be around. Those things are gonna happen. You're going to want to do the thing or not to go to the gym, or it's never going to be perfect. Like if anybody said that it was going to be easy the entire time, it never will be. It gets easier. And a good foundation certainly helps. Yeah, of course, we all have our days. I don't always want to do it either. And it's important to have like a good support system, and remembering that, like, having that your tribe doesn't have to be your best friends. It doesn't have to be close friends, but it's having those connections that, motivate you, make you want to do better, want to do more. Like I'm very much a tribe orientated person. I am much to myself, but I do better when I have a routine, a flow, I have connections. That could be just simply somebody that I see at the gym every day. My gym partner, if I hadn't, well, when I've had them in the past, like I don't see them all the time, and they're not my best friends, but they are they're that connection part of my routine. Going to get coffee in the morning, and walking into the coffee shop and having them say, "Good morning, Jules. Here's your cold brew. Saw you coming down the street." Just shit like that makes like it's just supportive. So I love that win. Who else has got something they want to share, something that they learned this week, a win challenge that you might be having that you need help overcoming? I have stripes in my hair from my blinds. You ready to go back to school, Rita? Routines. Power of a routine.
Sorry, I was trying to come off mute. No, I'm not ready to go back, but like I was just listening to what you were saying because I was feeling all of that, and I don't know if it's because I have to go back and set times and wake up early again. And I've kind of enjoyed my routine of getting up and going to gym at 7, and now it's going to have to go back to like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And I don't know. I'm just trying to hype myself up for that. But I mean, I've been with you for a while, so every once in a while I, I'm like, oh, I've got to go to the gym today. I've got to get, my check mark done, or else I'm going to be disappointed in myself, for one, because it makes me feel better.
Mhm.
So that's something like I've learned about me, that I need to make sure that I go to the gym every day or walk, or else I just don't feel good in my body. Like it really helps me set that positive pace for the day, because I have to do it in the mornings.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
changer for me. Like you have to do it in the mornings, and that's that part of moving in the morning, and that connection with yourself. It really does set your day up. So if anything, Rita, like you get to look forward, to that, like, yeah, I got to get up in the morning and do it earlier, but it's also, as you just said, going to bring peace and a little bit more stability and grounding to your day, because you've got that time to yourself before you show up in a classroom with a bunch of children that, could be probably slightly demanding. So like that is like, so looking at it, like shifting it, yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass. I have to move my time, but it's also my sacred time to myself, so that's it. And that's, again, guys, it comes down to, the foundation. When you build the foundation, it's not always easy, but it's easier. I like it. All right. Remember, peeps, cameras are on unless you are at the hospital working Alyssa Sweetman, or you are getting changed or dressed. Carrie Solomon. What's up, lady? You need some help? There she goes.
I'm speaking, but now can you still see me?
No, but that's okay.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It thinks I'm driving. I must be walking so fast that my phone thinks I'm driving.
You're walking so fast. That's awesome.
It switched to like drive mode. I'm like, okay. I think that I got a compliment yesterday that was, I guess, my win, because you see yourself every day, so you don't like see the progress unless you're looking at your progress photos. And this guy that has been at the gym since I joined in like May, um, has been there at the same time like as me every day. This older guy, and he said yesterday, he said, "How long have you been a member here?" And I said, "Just for the summer. I only have a summer membership at the Y." And he said, "Wow." He's like, you've really toned up." He said, "You've made a lot of progress in a short period of time." And I was like, "Wow, that's kind of cool." So that was nice to hear, because it wasn't like in a creepy way either. Like, oh, you're looking toned. It was like a nice guy. And so anyways, it was good to hear that, because you work really hard, and if it's noticeable, that's awesome.
I love it. That's a really good win. That's a really good win. And no, like just to add on to that, like a lot of times we have that gym phobia or fear. Like you just said, it wasn't in a creepy way. Most of the people at the gym, they're kind of keeping to themselves, and they actually appreciate, so that just leans into my point. Yeah. Like it's a good community to belong to. And most of the time people are pretty positive when it comes to that, and will compliment you like when they see changes like that. So that's cool. I love it. Anybody else have anything that they want to share with me that happened over the week that you learned that was awesome? It's a win, a challenge that I can help you with. All right. So nobody has anything to say. I'm going to ask some questions. So I want to talk today a little bit about healthy eating, healthy choices, healthy things, like what our idea of healthy is. Simply because sometimes I still see things like where we think we're making a healthy option or choice, and I want to make sure we're all on the right page. So a lot of times we could be traveling, things can happen. We're out in the wild and we forgot to plan our meals. We need to make great choices. So I want to talk a little bit about what those healthy options can be on the fly. So what is your idea of healthy if you're stranded on an island? but you have a convenience store. What are your ideas? You can drop them in the chats, come off of mute. I want to hear some ideas of healthy options.
I would say fruit and vegetables.
Okay.
I mean, obviously protein, but
Thank you.
if you're on an island, I mean,
Yeah. If you're on an island, all right, fruits, vegetables. I said you
Yeah.
had a convenience store on your island, but okay.
I mean, you can try to catch fish.
Okay, got it. Fruits, veggies, catch fish. Great. Yes. What else are some healthy options when you are out in the wild? I'm just joking when I say the wild. We know what we're going to eat on an island. What are we going to eat if we're traveling and, oh my God, we ran out of meals because we had a delay in our flight. Something happened if we were out driving. What are some healthy options? I'm not hearing. You all need to voice your opinions here. I need to hear from you. Quest bar, if nothing else, at the island convenience store, great. Beef jerky, good. All good options. Great. Well, you guys are being pretty good. Give me a few more. So yogurt, yes. A protein yogurt, like a yogurt that somebody watched my reel. Protein, yes, yogurt that has like a 000. Good.
If I can find like avocado toast, grilled chicken,
Mhm.
grilled shrimp. I know one time I was at an airport and they had a little Thai like express restaurant, and I was able to get like cucumbers, and I was like, oh my God, cucumbers, yay.
Yeah.
Because there are times where, you know, you're going to get stuck, especially right now with all the weather issues. But grilled chicken, spinach salads, shrimp, if you can find, those right there are kind of my go-tos. Avocado toast. If I can never find avocado toast, I'm super happy.
Good.
Eggs.
Eggs.
You can do, even at Starbucks, a cup of just plain oatmeal.
Plain oatmeal. Good. I like that. Omit the fancy toppings that they put on it and just get the plain.
Yeah.
Yep. You can get
Tell
the
them no toppings.
Yep, no toppings, add the stevia. Good choice. So guys, like think about that. So like what Stacy just brought up. Yeah, you can go to Starbucks actually. You could get the turkey bacon sandwich. I will get that quite often. I just omit the cheese on it because you can actually customize it. You can get the oatmeal there. If you have protein powder in your bag, you could get the oatmeal from, say, Starbucks or something. But like what Stacy said, sometimes what we tend to forget is omitting the toppings off of when we're ordering this stuff. So going to the restaurant, like, you know, we're getting the chicken, the shrimp, like omitting the sauces. There's hidden fats and things. So remembering to keep those things off. So like in the case of, I like the oatmeal idea from Starbucks, but they're going to give you those cute little packets of brown sugar and fruit. Those you just need to toss in the garbage and ask for, you need some sweetener or some stevia to go in there if you need to sweeten your oats. Ask them, they have cinnamon powder. They put it in my coffee all the time. Ask them if you can have some cinnamon to put on top of it. If you've got protein, you can mix that in. And if you carry protein powder, somebody that just said, yogurt, yes, if you can find a sugar-free Greek yogurt at the store, like somebody watched my reel, obviously. I found it in a grocery or in a airport. You know, I actually found 000, I think it was. But any of those sugar-free, you got to watch those yogurts because there's sometimes a lot of sugar, but if you find a sugar-free one and you've got protein powder, you can mix that in. So somebody, so tell me this. What would be a better option? Pretzels or trail mix?
I'd say that's a hard one. It depends on what's in that trail mix. If it's covered with sugar, then that's not going to be good.
Think about what's normally in a trail mix. So you're in the store, pretzels or trail mix. You probably are lacking energy, need a little boost. What is gonna think about, so let's before I move forward, trail mix might have more fiber. So we got to vote for trail mix. So I got one vote for trail mix, one that's mixed opinion. Give me some other ideas.
The protein in the nuts, did you mention that?
Well, I'm saying trail mix or pretzels. Who's voting for which? I got one vote for trail mix.
I'm going to say pretzels.
You're gonna say pretzels. I got one for pretzels.
Just, sorry, I keep having issues coming off mute or whatever. So
Okay.
if it stays on microphone, please log me off. I don't know why.
Okay, I got two for trail mix, one for pretzels. I got another one for trail mix. Okay, so here's the hard truth, guys. Pretzels is your better option. Lieutenant's shaking her head. So Lieutenant, why you probably can't type or come off mute, but why is she smiling? Why is pretzels the better option? Let me see if I can help you. I know you're driving, so I don't want to have you do anything. I will, so why, can anybody else tell me why trail mix just out of the top of your, pretzels might be the better option over trail mix? Think about what's
Less fat.
less fat, correct.
Yeah.
How many calories does a gram of carbohydrates have in comparison to a gram of fat? You're looking at 9 calories per gram for fat, and you're looking at 4 calories per gram for carbohydrate. So, and in addition, carbohydrates are energy. So those that said pretzels, yes, definitely the better option. Then I might pair it with some beef jerky, Sandy. Maybe I have some beef jerky and pretzels. Now I'm getting a protein and a carbohydrates. Now, pretzels would be my best option over, say, any other snack mix. And I say that because when I'm thinking about going into like an airport convenience store, generally they'll have pretzels. So that would definitely be a better option. All right, love that. So, and the reason why I say this is those that said trail mix, we tend to lean that direction because we've been programmed like, oh, that's healthy. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's the same with what would be a better option, granola or pretzels? Rita stand with her pretzels. Yep, correct. Because most granola is going to have a lot of what?
Sugar.
Sugar.
It's going to be covered in honey. Yeah.
It's going to be covered in sugar. That doesn't mean granola is bad. And that doesn't mean I would probably choose the granola depending on what it looked like. I possibly would choose that over the trail mix, depending. But I would choose the pretzels over the granola. And again, it's things that we're programmed to believe. And the reason is like you're going to need more energy. The granola, if it's low sugar, isn't going to be bad because it's usually got oats and things in there as well. However, you have to watch granolas. They can be specifically in convenient markets. Like if a grocery store is a difference, you usually have more options, but in convenience stores, you're generally going to be limited to those sugary ones. And then again, always, a protein bar can be a really great option. But remember, guys, when you look at protein bars, even though I say Quest 1 bars, protein bars can be okay. Always remember that when they tell you they have 1 net carbs don't count. They have whatever carbs in there that they say they have. Net carbs are basically means that they are in an advertising canceling out carbohydrates due to a fiber level. And in most cases of protein bars and things like that, that fiber level comes from, I believe it's called ethanol. So it's a man-made fiber. Some people don't react very well to that fiber, but it's a man-made fiber that goes into the bar that they use to cancel out carbs, which really isn't reality. We really don't look, I don't ever look at net carbs. Carbs are carbs, period, the end. If it has 20 carbs in it, but it says it has 19 grams of fiber, you got 20 carbs. You did not get 1 carb. Make sense? So remember that too. And the carbs aren't bad, but just remember that, and protein bars can still be the better option sometimes if need be, when you are out in the wild. But I like looking for, like Stacy said, the other options, like looking at some of these places where you can get dressed down food. There are actually quite a few places in airports where you can build your own meals. Chipotle is not a bad place to get clean meals from. You just have to watch their portion sizes. Most of the time you have to say, yeah, no, I don't need that much. A lot of times that's the biggest problem with Chipotle. You can build a lot of your own thing. You can, get the grilled chicken, get a little bit of avocado, get a little bit of rice. You just have to really control them when it comes to portion sizes if they're building it in front of you. And you can do that. You can say, I only want 3 ounces of chicken. They'll do it. You can say, I only want a half cup of rice. I only want a cup of rice. They'll do it. I only want a couple, 2 ounces of avocado. They'll do it. So if you've never asked, they will. So Chipotle can actually be a decent place as well. Good. The other thing, watch sauces, like I said earlier. So a lot of times, just watch the sauces that come with some of these salads. So sometimes we go out to dinner and we're also programmed to believe that a salad is the best option. Well, some salads, guys, I'm going to take, for example, Chipotle, there's a couple of salads at Chick-fil-A that you would think are very healthy, including their Southwest salad. That sucker's got 800 calories in it. When you start putting the sauces and the dressings and all the shit on there, and they have a lot of, so you have to really watch those salads and pay attention to the nutrition, and I'm just using Chick-fil-A as an example, but even when you go out to eat at restaurants, when you're ordering a salad, asking for things on the side, and a lot of times they'll be good about telling you how many calories are in there. And if they're telling you how many calories are in a salad, and you look at a salad, you say it has like 700 calories. If you look at the ingredients in it, you guys are in a position where you know enough to know what's adding those calories, and to be able to subtract that off the salad to get it to where you need it to be. But watch those as well. They can be very hidden. And once you enter them into MyFitnessPal, that's the other reason why you want to start entering it, because many of these foods you'll enter into MyFitnessPal and you guys will see, and this is kind of why I'm having the conversation. I've been peeping people's MyFitnessPals, and I see sometimes where you guys are going out, or you're venturing off and your fat levels are up. So that's why we're having this conversation, because it is a common thing that I see. Fat goes up. So watching those fats, because we tend to believe they're healthy, but the reality is it's just what we do. We think like they're easy to grab, like easy to grab the trail mix, easy to grab the almond butter. Sometimes it's easy to forget those little additional things. So paying attention to that. Hi, Miss Jennifer McCombs, you're back.
Sorry, I decided to make my breakfast and eat in peace this morning. So I was listening. Lots of good information and inspiration. Thank you.
Welcome. Does this help, guys? And the reason I share this is like, these are things like that are going to come over and over again. And Carrie, you may think I'm like, I actually was looking at yours a little bit, and I'm not picking on you in any way. You actually lost weight this week, but it's about creating those habits because we want you to continue to see successes. So sometimes, and I share this, and I wanted to make sure she's on the call, and she was actually one of the ones that I looked at. So a couple of examples I brought out were actually choices she'd made. She's probably listening to me go, shit. But you know, this is how we learn too. And the reason why I want to share these things, and I try to look sometimes at what you guys are doing so I can come here and like help you out, is because you don't know what you don't know, and getting, you know, creating awareness. And sometimes, like, for example, I will not pick up, but I'll use Carrie as an example. She lost weight. So then you lose weight and you go, well, I made these choices and I lost weight, so it must be okay. But the reality is it may not be. It's just a coincidence of something that happened, and doing something over and over again. So it's about changing those habits. Is trail mix terrible? No. However, you know, when we're looking at options and learning to put it into my fitness pal and be like, oh shit, that might not be a better option. So like standing there and going, well, let me just put the trail mix in. Yikes. And then go, well, let me put the carbs in. Ooh, not so bad. I would rather see you guys go over, a little over in carbohydrates, not crazy, than I would fats. And you see why, right? Carbs, one, are energy. So if it's a late night, like, think about what you need at that point in time. You need energy. So carbs are going to give you more energy. They also won't spill over as quickly. They have less calories in them per gram versus fats, where fats are very, very easy to overeat. So that's where if you accidentally polish off a bag of pretzels, we're in less trouble than if you polish off a bag of trail mix that's full of nuts. Make sense?
Hey, Joel.
Yes.
So something else that I see at the airport now popping up a lot are those little boxes of, it'll have like a segment of fresh veggies like carrot sticks, tomatoes, and then it'll have a little section of hummus. So I feel that hummus actually
Oops.
is you could also, so you could add the carb in with the protein and the veg. So I just want to get your take on how you feel about that.
Well, you kind of broke up. Are you asking me about hummus?
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
It may be because of where I'm at. So yeah, seeing these boxes popping up at the airport where it'll have like carrot sticks and tomatoes and cucumbers and then a little like a half a cup or a cup of hummus. And I was just saying, I feel like hummus is a good plant-based protein option. And then you could even add some pretzels with that if you needed to. So I just wanted to get your idea of that.
Yeah, it's going to have a little bit of protein in it. It's not, you know, it is plant-based. It's going to have, it has fiber in it. The amount of protein isn't, it's certainly a better option than most out there. You could also snag some grilled chicken someplace and dip that in your hummus with your vegetables and have a great. The hummus is going to lean more into a better source of a carbohydrate, to be honest with you. It's going to have a little bit of fat in it. It's got some carbs in it. So it's almost a very well-balanced little something in there. If you picked up some beef jerky, I might pair that with it, like some low sugar beef jerky if I was in a rush. That way I'd have my vegetables, a little bit of hummus, and some additional protein. That's probably what I would do.
Okay, maybe having, I'm not a big fan of like the real processed beef jerky, but maybe like a turkey jerky.
Yeah, turkey. Yeah, that's what
I
I
feel
mean.
like
Yeah.
maybe that might be some.
And
Yeah.
something, guys, to think about. I traveled with these actually. I travel with these a lot, and I traveled with them to Mexico because I just knew that I wasn't going to see a lot of things. And then when Jen just came here last week, she also had some, which reminded me of it. Don't forget the power of like the pouched tuna and chicken. Like carrying those with you can be added protein. So at the grocery store, and you can get ones like at Trader Joe's, they're in my refrigerator right now. You can get some pretty clean, you know, packed in water. And some of them are like 3 ounces of protein. They'll have like 18 grams of protein. So keeping those little like pouches of the chicken or the tuna when you're traveling with you can also save your life as well. Because now you've got that added protein. And then if you were to find something like the vegetables or a different carb to pair it with. So traveling with those and protein powder can also be helpful. Keeping them as backup in your house too, if you ever run out of food, isn't a bad idea. At work, you can eat them right out of the pouch. You can eat it, add a little mustard, and out of the pouch it comes. This is actually just fine. So those are good ideas too. And not to mention, you can usually find them at a convenience store too. Even if you don't carry them with you, you can usually see there. A lot of times I've seen them in like little convenience stores too, those little pouches of whitefish, tuna, or chicken. Not always ideal, but it'll do it in a pinch. All right, I'm looking at my comments. Anything else, guys? Sprouts has poached salmon too. Yes, it does. So does Trader Joe's. Yeah, absolutely. Trail mix have much fiber. All right. I got one more pop quiz for you. Based on something that I saw. What's healthier? Or what's healthier? Not healthier. Because neither one are healthy, in my opinion. But what would be a better option? You're dying for ice cream. Halo Top or vegan ice cream? Enlighten, Halo Top, Nix, or vegan ice cream? Or yogurt, frozen yogurt? I think you're voting. Are you voting in the chat? Or are you just all on quiet and waiting for me to give you the answer?
I think vegan ice cream, but it would depend on the sugars, as long as it's low sugar and fat, because sometimes they'll use those instead of the dairy.
Read the
So
label.
I would lean towards that because I can't do yogurt because it
Yeah.
makes me do yucky things.
Alyssa says read the label. Exactly. Alyssa,
Yeah.
right on point. Read the labels, but honestly, probably Enlighten or Halo Top is going to be a better option for a couple of reasons. One, they actually have more protein in them. They're actually they have added a protein. They're low sugar. They have very little sugar. And to your point, vegan ice cream, Sandy, is generally so, and I say this because a lot of times we hear the word vegan and we think healthy, right? We're like, oh, it's vegan, it's got to be healthy. And to what Alyssa said is absolutely true. And I know she says this because she leans into the vegetarian a little bit. And if you don't read the labels, to like what Sandy said, you're going to see a lot of sugar. So a lot of vegan food don't just assume, like Alyssa said, like Sandy said, like look around at the label. I guarantee you, like I would rather you eat a pint of Halo Top versus a pint of vegan. You're also going to see the caloric intake is going to be hugely different. You're going to have like 280 to 300 maybe 350 for Enlightened Halo Top. And that's if you accidentally pound the whole pint. Where that vegan ice cream, I bet you is 900 to 1,000 calories if you pound the whole pint on accident. And we all know that accidentally you probably will because it's a pint. And so if you accidentally fall into, so think of that too. So like it's a hot day and I'm like, oh God. So remember, and I'm not telling you to run to the store and go get Halo Top, but I'm saying like if that's the situation, and this is again something nobody on this call, somebody else had said that was like, oh, I was just craving and I wanted it. And why vegan? Well, because it's healthy. Not necessarily. You guys got to learn, as Alyssa said, to turn and read the labels because there's a shit ton of sugar in some of this stuff. And sometimes the calorie intake and fat, as we just got done discussing, is super high. It's not always what you think is the healthier option. So I love that. That is probably the best advice we had today. Read the frickin' label. Turn it around, look at the label. Good
Hey,
stuff.
Jules, I have a question about that vegan comment.
Mhm.
There's like a healthy fast food. I think it's healthy fast food out here. I don't know if there's any out in that area. The restaurant's called Tacotarian, and it's vegan, like tacos. It's Mexican, and I tried to research like how they made the processed meat, and I figured it was healthy. I mean, I haven't had it in a long time because it's not on my meal plan. But is that type of, because it's not real meat, is that healthy or is there like sugars in it?
So Alyssa just made a comment. She's right. She said
Oh.
again, read the labels.
Yeah,
She's like
okay.
lots of chemicals and seed oils, and she's right. So a lot of that, that's where, so here's the deal when it comes to, she's right. So you really have to look at the labels. There could be a lot of additional things in man-made proteins or plant-based. Also, you want to look at where the protein source is coming from. Is it soy? Is it, pea protein? Is it plant-based? Now you have to remember plant-based protein when you're looking at the line of things. So you got your lean animal protein, you've got whey protein, and then you have plant-based protein. It has the least amount of protein in it on a scale. Okay. So even like a whey protein is better. So I tend to lean away from those. If you were looking for something healthy, and this is, I know, is in Las Vegas, I would tell you to go to Greens and Protein. Or even the Protein House. Greens and Protein used to be one of my favorite places to go, and they're all over Las Vegas. You can get, and they don't have necessarily vegan options in there. Like you can get turkey burger, sweet potato fries, different types of so I would look for more healthy, like all over options, like places like that versus again, leaning into like that vegan. Again, Alyssa's adding to it, like she's right, vegan meat is processed. Real meat can actually be cleaner. Well, it is definitely cleaner. Yes, their sweet potato fries are the best. They also have, guys, you've never tried them. So I don't say this right, but it's called Jamaica fruit, like it's white vegetable that's really crunchy. It's called Alyssa, tell me what it is. I bet you she knows it. GIMA, Jamaica. I don't know. I'm like literally not saying it right, but they have those as fries on there and they season them with the spicy seasoning. They taste freaking amazing.
I think it's called jicama.
Jicama, thank you.
It's
Jicama.
jicama.
Yes, so they're jicama fries. I don't know what they put on them. I can never make them taste the same when I get jicama if I buy it as a vegetable, but their jicama fries are like the best there too. So if you want, and they're really crunchy, they taste amazing. But yeah, you can get some really good stuff there. So if you're gonna have like a refeed or you're looking for a clean replacement, sometime the Greens and Protein is awesome. Yes, their Greek pizza is the bomb as well. So those of you who have ever asked me, like I used to get their Greek pizza there all the time. It has to what, this plays into what Stacy asked me earlier. So their Greek pizza is actually, I would get it with a thin crust. It has hummus on it as the base. And then the fat is obviously going to come a little bit from the hummus, they have a few olives on it. It's just got veggies on it, but I always added chicken to it. Always. Why? Because I needed more protein. So that kind of adds into the question about the hummus and having enough protein. So when I would order that, I would always add chicken to it. So I'd get the Greek pizza. That used to be my favorite refeed meal, actually. I used to go to Greens and Protein and get that as a refeed all the time. It was the bomb. Yeah, but just thinking about stuff like that, guys. So don't fall victim. Very good questions to the word vegan or vegetarian. Unfortunately, a lot of vegans are not very healthy. And I know this because almost 10 years ago when I lived in California, I fell victim to the vegan nutrition. I lost a shit ton of muscle, my iron levels dropped. I went into the doctor and he was like, well, what the hell are you doing? this was many, many years ago. It was like over 10 years ago, because I fell victim to it. I lost muscle, all kinds of things. He basically, the doctor said to me, my iron level crashed so bad. He asked me why I was doing it. I said, because it's healthy. And he said, do you do this for religious reasons or just because you think it's healthy? I said, well, I think it's healthy. And he said, I'm going to beg you. He's like, to lean into clean meats. He said, if you need to eat grass-fed meats that are not processed, that don't have hormones in it, he's like, I get and understand that you don't want any of that in there. He's like, so go shop at Whole Foods or something like that. He goes, but please put meat back in, because my iron had dropped that much. So vegan isn't always the best option. We think it is, we're taught to believe that, but it's really hard to get enough protein as a vegan, and very clearly iron, things like that. It's very, very tough. I'm not telling you that there's vegan bodybuilders out there, but they are like dialed in, like they really have to be smart with their nutrition to find the protein that they need. It's tough. It can be really, really tough.
Jules, I have a question.
Mhm.
Can we talk about popcorn?
What about popcorn?
Well, I really like popcorn, and you had it on my meal plan for a long time, and then I was like, oh, I really like popcorn. I eat probably way more popcorn than I should, but is that a good option? Is it something, if you're at the airport or on the plane? Flying a lot this summer, I didn't take the airplane snack. It's just ew. But I would always have a little bag of popcorn. But I've kind of noticed I have to read the labels. Not all popcorns are equal.
Yep, that
Correct?
would be my first thing. So remember what I put on your meal plan. It was Smart Pop, right? So you got
So
to.
I pop it ahead of time and stick it in a baggie to take it with
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, no, so popcorn isn't bad, and I don't think it's bad. It isn't, it's a decent source of carbohydrates. It's corn. Some people will have issues with it. Popcorn is actually a kind of a superfood. It's not bad. So as long as you're not, again, you're looking at the labels or you're popping it yourself, right? And you're putting your own flavors on it. And then some people will get belly aches from eating too much of it, though. That would be the only thing that I would tell you. Watch your serving sizes. Some people are adverse to popcorn. If you're not, it's not a bad source of carbohydrates. Think it's like a corn tortilla, anything like that. So it's a source of, you're getting your carbohydrate from a corn. Just some people don't do well with corn, but no, it's not bad at all. Just don't get movie popcorn. Watch it from convenience stores and, traveling, because even Skinny Pop. Some of those Skinny Pops are okay, but as you know, it's come up several times in the comments, read the labels. So even though this, like the Skinny Pop bags, like turn it around and look at the label. Like sometimes it'll just surprise you at what's in there. I think your approach is the best. If you're popping it yourself and creating your own little bags, it's probably the best approach. Now you know exactly what's in there, but popcorn isn't bad as long as you're paying attention to what it is. It doesn't have a bunch of fat in it, aka butter or any kind of vegan oil. And those are the things that you have to worry, because they want it to taste good, so they're going to load it with shit for you. That's what you have to be careful of. Answer your question? Popcorn and pretzels. Popcorn mixed with a few almonds could be a decent snack to have, sometimes too. It's going to be a carbohydrate and a fat. You're missing a protein there, and just as long as you don't put too many almonds in there. Good question. Anything else? Anything else? All right. Good call, peeps. I am going to end this recording.